Tabgha, a small, quiet stretch along the northwestern shore of the Sea of Galilee, doesn't look like the setting for a world-shaking event. There are no flashing lights or towering cathedrals that dominate the skyline. But this humble place is the backdrop for one of the most enduring miracles in the Christian faith, the multiplication of the loaves and fishes. And that's only the beginning of its profound spiritual legacy. The name Tabgha is a corruption of the Greek heptapagon, meaning 7 springs. These springs made the area fertile, lush, and green, a natural gathering place for people living in the nearby hills and villages. It was here, in this peaceful setting, that Jesus encountered a hungry crowd. 5,000 men, not counting women and children, had followed him into the wilderness, drawn by his teaching and the hope he brought. But when the day wore on and stomachs began to growl, the disciples saw a problem. How could they feed so many? Jesus took what little they had, 5 loaves, 2 small fish. He looked up to heaven, gave thanks, and began to distribute the food. And something unexplainable happened. Everyone ate. Not just a bite, but enough to be filled. And when it was over, 12 baskets of leftovers remained. The gospel writers don't offer an explanation. They simply describe it. A miracle. A moment when scarcity became abundance. When human limits were overcome by divine generosity. Today, the Church of the Multiplication stands as a memorial to that moment. Its floor is adorned with a 5th century mosaic, one of the oldest in Christian history, showing 2 fish flanking a basket of loaves. Look closely and you'll notice something strange. Only 4 loaves in the basket, not 5. The 5th is believed to be the Eucharist itself, the bread that is broken during Christian communion, a symbol of Christ continuing to feed the faithful spiritually. But Tabgha holds another mystery. According to tradition, it was here after the resurrection that Jesus appeared again to his disciples. They had returned to what they knew, fishing, perhaps unsure of what came next. They toiled all night and caught nothing. Then, at dawn, a figure appeared on the shore and told them to cast their nets on the other side. They obeyed, and suddenly their nets were so full they could hardly drag them back in. It was then that John recognized him. "It is the Lord!" Peter, never one to hesitate, jumped into the water and swam to shore. There, on the beach, Jesus had already prepared a charcoal fire with bread and fish laid on it. "Come and have breakfast," he said. It wasn't just a meal, it was a moment of healing and recommissioning. Jesus turned to Peter and asked him 3 times, "Do you love me?" A deliberate mirror of the 3 times Peter had denied him. And each time Peter said yes, Jesus replied, "Feed my sheep." The nearby Church of the Primacy of Peter marks this powerful scene. A simple structure built of black basalt stone, it houses a flat rock known as the Mensa Christi, Latin for Table of Christ. This is believed to be where Jesus served breakfast to his disciples, where friendship was restored and where leadership was passed on. What makes Tabgha unique is not just the miracles associated with it, but how deeply personal they are. They're not about spectacle. They're about need. Hunger, forgiveness, direction. They're about people at their most human, confused, lost, broken, and a Savior who meets them exactly where they are, whether on a grassy hillside or a quiet beach at dawn. Even today, the silence of Tabgha carries a kind of sacred energy. Pilgrims walk the grounds with a reverent hush. The lapping waters of the Sea of Galilee seem to echo with ancient memories. And that mosaic of the loaves and fish, it's not just a piece of art, it's a message. A reminder that what we bring, no matter how small, can become more than enough in the hands of grace. There's no flashy monument here, no grand procession, just bread, fish, a fire, and the overwhelming presence of love. Tabgha invites every visitor into that quiet mystery, into the abundance of a miracle and the tenderness of a breakfast shared between old friends, into the reassurance that even after failure, restoration is possible. And that when Jesus says, "Follow me," it still echoes, not just in Galilee, but across every generation that hears the story. If this inspired you and you want to explore more sacred places with deep meaning and timeless lessons, make sure to subscribe. There's so much more to uncover.